everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Christy here doing the weekly reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is for the week of November 28th through to December 5th. With the moon in Aquarius during this weekend's readings, I'm going to do a general reading for you with the theme of hopes and wishes. So Aquarius is ruled by the 11th house, and the 11th house rules wishes, hopes, friendships, as well as sudden changes. So this is a general reading for your sign. Whatever is most prominent in your life, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to, and I hope that you find them helpful and healing. So what does Scorpio need to know about hopes and wishes this week? Anyone who doesn't have the time or doesn't enjoy the shuffling, just check out the scroll bar below. Around the 3-minute mark, the cards are usually laid and the reading begins. And for those of you who enjoy the shuffling, stick around. We're looking for 3 jumpers. All right, Scorpio. So representing you this week in the central position is Otter. This is woman medicine. This is really anything that is touching on womanhood. So anything having to do with the female body, with the female reproductive system, or with female lifestyle. So we're looking at issues of motherhood and sisterhood here as well. Coyote is in the influence to your current position. This is trickster. This is just someone who's a little bit fun, but someone who can cause some problems for themselves and say, how does this keep happening? So if there's any how does this keep happening in your language regarding a concern this week, it's probably because you need to stop repeating something concerning issues around women. If you happen to be dating, or if this is about an issue around romance, you're looking at the flirt and the coquette here. If there is something that's not going your way here in that type of, under that energy, under the coquette and the flirt, being the woman and then up against male energy, it could be that you're essentially fooling yourself here. With regard to that, tricking yourself into believing something that isn't true is another way to look at this. Or shooting yourself in the foot and then saying, how did that happen? It's just, by virtue of me saying that, I just mean something needs a closer look for you to get to the bottom of, so that it doesn't look like it's fate. Okay, here's another way to frame that. Something in the dating world or having to do with woman or being female that acts like it's fate, but keeps repeating itself, and you're thinking it's fate, is actually something that you're conducting, okay? But don't take that as a negative. Take that as something that you now can solve, because it's not out of your control, okay? And then here with Bat, of course, this is rebirth. This is coming out the other side of something you thought had you trapped. I actually see a really, really insightful week ahead for you, Scorpio, upon further reflection here for you. Oh, it's been a heck of a week. And then here with Hawk as your general energy for the whole reading, we're looking at messenger. So messages, any way, shape, or form, honest to God, really just keep your antenna out, okay? You want to be aware of messages coming your way. I'm going to add quickly here as well. Here If something seems to be on repeat and seems to be faded, and upon particularly around womanhood, female, flirting, and the coquette, or in other words, the feminine up against the masculine. It might be an interesting week for you to go within on the matter or to become reflective on what you see on repeat here, because 10 to 1, you've got a hand in it and you're able to control, like actually fix it, to problem solve, like to stop it from repeating if it's a negative, okay? Keeping your antenna on high, some of your favorite songs, your favorite movies, someone that you've heard say something that didn't have any meaning for you 10 years ago and all of a sudden it means the world to you. This is where we're finding value in messages. It could even be something that you didn't think you wanted to hear. It could be something that is playing in your head and you don't know what to do with it. Like, well, why is this playing over and over? This doesn't mean anything. Look a little bit further. Look at something a little bit more deeply this week, especially if it feels like it's on repeat. So as I mentioned, Otter represents you this week. This really is just feeling comfortable in your own skin, feeling really positive, very healthy, and extremely feminine, very female. If you're a man, this is going to be your feminine self, or you're going to be in circles of females, or really feeling the feminine divine this week, and as though it's a very positive factor or even a benefactor in your life. If you do feel you're missing that somehow this week, Scorpio, you're going to want to become back in tune with this. This will bring you a lot of relief this week. It'll make you feel very settled as well. Another nice way to experience woman medicine is to reach out to your female friends. Maybe have some sort of a get-together. Maybe just connect with people that you feel out of touch with. If you feel out of sorts, or if you feel you wish they would do this for you, don't wait for it, because everyone's kind of wrapped up in themselves. If you feel like you need some attention from females in your life, reach out and they will reach back. Here with Coyote, as I mentioned, we're looking at the trickster. We're looking at basically, another really easy theme to look at this is Wile E. Coyote, the infamous cartoon. He sets himself up, right? And we all do it. We all do it for various themes at various stages of our lives for any number of reasons. I would spend exactly 0 time figuring out why you did this. Just don't. It's a waste of time. No, and it means nothing. Why did you do it? Well, for probably lots of reasons. All that matters is what is it that you're doing to trip yourself up, and then making a vow to yourself. Oh, I figured it out. I figured out what's tripping me up. Oh, I have power over that. I'm going to discontinue tripping myself up. Really, that's all you're going to want to do. If you have the time, or you want to take the time and like, well, why have I been doing that? And what does it mean? You can do that too. Obviously, do whatever you want with that. But if you want a quick fix and you just want it to stop, you're just going to identify it and then say, oh, here's how I fix it, and then start practicing that. Here we have Rebirth as your outcome card. This is where I see you really taking yourself to task this week. This is not external to you. This is where on some level you might feel as though it's karmic, or you feel like this is somehow projected, or somehow someone's doing something to you, but that's not what's happening. And this is where I believe this has been going on so long. The coyote, the sort of, being your own worst enemy in a sense here, because for a long, up until now, it has looked like it was someone else, or it has looked like the solution was out of your hands somehow. Luckily, however, for you this week, I think you'll see for yourself that you do have the power to switch this up. You do have the power to see that the trickster has been you, and it might have even been fun. Look, I'm not even saying that it was like a shoot yourself in the foot and then there's all sorts of suffering and you don't get any fun out of it. No, there's something fun about it, right? You're the trickster. You get to chase your tail. You get to play some games. But the problem with it is that the joke is on you, right? And it might even look like, again, someone else is doing this. Not the case, okay? It's just not the case. Rebirth is where you find yourself after you've identified and fixed this. This is you coming out the other side. It's also a highly shamanistic card, which means that there are secrets and messages available to you, Scorpio. Please keep your antenna on high. We're looking at 2 winged animals here. Quick mention, the bat is a mammal. They actually birth live young. So this is going to be a very human experience for you, as opposed to, say, a spiritual experience for you. This is you. It could be spiritual, obviously, but this is probably going to feel more like a very practical human experience for you, where this is going to hurt in real time, in real life, and you're going to say, I've identified it, I deserve better than this, I'm going to come out the other side of this, okay? And like I said quickly, here with Hawk, we're looking at the messenger. Either you're acting as a messenger, or you need to hear something that you've heard 200 times before, because this time it's going to click, okay? Or you'll find that you'll see a picture, you'll hear someone's voice. You might even see someone that this is concerning, and all of a sudden, even though there's been a lot of, conflict or going around in circles here, you'll see them or even hear them or hear from them, and it'll be like, why was I dealing with this? Why was I involved with this person? It might even appear to happen on its own. The solution might appear to happen on its own, but it was a result of you identifying it, okay? And here with children, 2 quick mentions around this card. 1, you may be surrounded by a child or children this week. If that's the case, try to involve yourself in their type of wonder, in their type of childlike wonder, right? Childlike is not the same as childish. Childish is saying, I want my own way, and having a tantrum, even as an adult. And we know some. Childlike is saying, I'm going to choose to look at the world through the eyes of wonder, right? It's a different lens that you wear. It's a different lens through which you see the world. And you can absolutely have this, Scorpio, because of your rebirth here. A lot of times it's frowned upon, right? And you have to be. I want to throw this out there. You really do have to feel safe, okay? And please remind yourself of that, okay? You do have to be, and you have to feel safe in order to be childlike here. So make sure that you're in a safe environment to explore this sense of wonder and sense of newness. To the Sea is the card of going with the flow. It might just be a time to stop worrying, to stop fixating, to stop trying to especially fix or change someone else. If that's at all what's going on here, one final note, it might be time to go with the flow on an issue here, as opposed to insisting that it's fate. Why don't we, for the week, for example, say, maybe it's not fate. Maybe there is something you can identify here that can be switched up, and you have the power to do it through this new lens, through the eyes of wonder, through the eyes of the child. So I really hope this was helpful to you, Scorpio. If you have a second, comment below. I love hearing from you guys. And if you're not already, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. You're alerted to all uploads every week for your sign, and you can like my videos. That really helps me out as well. So thanks for being with me here today. I really appreciate it. Until next time, take excellent care. Bye for now.